Hey, what's up, EBA leaders and pastors? Thanks again for just giving me a few minutes of your time to talk about how we can better come together and partner for the advancement of the gospel across our peninsula. That's really what it means to be a part of an association, is we can come together, partner together, learn from each other, support each other, and do more than we could by ourselves. As I was thinking about what to share with you this week, last week I talked about grief. I look around me, I look at the fact that our brother Keith Meyer is going through grief. I look at the fact that we have several pastors that have processed grief. And then recently, my wife pointed out the fact that I was dealing with some anger that was surfacing, and that the anger that was coming out of me had come specifically out of grief. Grief of the loss of a move and what that meant, and I was just finally processing that. She brought that up. Grief that we had quite a few members of our church that recently had left, and I was processing that and the grief of losing. So I had another friend who's close that's a leader at our church, and she came to me and said, I never thought about the fact that pastors, when someone leaves, they grieve the loss of someone that they love. They grieve that they don't have that connection the way they had, and that sometimes the person didn't share in the vision that the pastor had for the church, and it's a unique type of grief. And I talked about that, I wrote about that this week. You'll see that come in the email, that's a unique grief that all of us as leaders and pastors of churches can relate to, is what it's like when someone does leave. We can certainly relate to, many of us, loss from death of spouses and friends and family and parents, and that's true. But when a shepherd grieves, when a pastor grieves, it's unique. And it's not unique that it's harder or worse. Pastors will tell you that. It's unique that we don't turn to people to help us with that grief. And so therefore, we almost commit the same sin we were talking about last week, the same issue, which is we try to grieve in isolation, and God didn't create us that way. He wants us to lament, and lament with one another, with support. How do you do that? Well, Dr. Andy Ehlers, I think, has one of the greatest perspectives on this. And it's not because he went through a unique grief, although his grief was unique to Andy. The reason Andy has a unique perspective is he really worked a good process and learned great tools. And all he's wanting to do this week on June the 2nd, this Tuesday, is share that with you and share that with me, that our churches might be better equipped on how to deal with grief, both as we help people in our church grieve, but also as we as leaders and as pastors grieve. How do we do that well and biblically, in alignment with how God has designed us to lament and to mourn? So that's one of the things we're going to be talking about. That's in your notes. You'll see that you can sign up for that. The deadline's coming up quick, because that's this Tuesday. We need to make sure we get the food right for that. So make sure that you sign up. If you haven't sign up now. Don't do anything else. A couple other really great events that are coming your way. We have the men's conference in Del Mar that's happening. It's not too late to sign up, but you got to sign up again quickly, because it's this Saturday. And for them to get the right amount of food, I know Pastor John's going to need you to sign up soon. Don't forget that Berlin is hosting a couple IMB missionaries that are husband and wife, and that they're going to be teaching on how to share the gospel in effective ways. There's a form there that you need to fill out so they know you're coming, and that's this Saturday as well. So those two events are there, to offer to you, one, to learn from IMB missionaries how to share the gospel better right there in Berlin, and then also if you want to bring a group of men to grow in your connection, to lead better in the church, you've got that this Saturday. And then this Tuesday, wow, what a lot of cool things happening. You've got the opportunity to learn what it means to mourn better as a church. London Village submitted an opportunity for summer missionary, and that is a paid position. So if you know someone in your church that's wanting to learn more about outreach and mission, and they're just looking for a great summer job, have them connect with Pastor David. And then Sunrise has that opportunity to connect with their LDP. And again, I'm just excited about that partnership. If you haven't looked at what Sunrise has been doing, I've been super impressed with how many pastors they've turned out recently, how many leaders they've turned out, how many church plants they've been a part of and actually been able to plant. They're an exceptional partner in the Eastern Baptist Association. And so if you'd like to learn about their process or engage your people in theological education, as well as practical learning, that's a great LDP leadership development program that you can engage in. Have a blessed week. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm hoping to see some of you this Saturday at the men's conference, hoping to see some of you also at the grief seminar that we're doing, the shepherds learning how to do that Tuesday with Andy Ehlers. And I'm hoping some of you will be able to connect with Brad Deal, who'll be having a great event this Saturday with the IMB missionaries on how to better learn how to share your faith. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you soon.